Let us begin with a hard truth most men never hear: the moment you try too hard to be understood, you surrender your power. That's where attraction quietly fades. A man meets a woman he is attracted to. Wanting to connect, he starts asking question after question. He believes he is building interest, but what he is really doing is elevating her and lowering himself. Every day, what do you do? Where are you from, or, what kind of men do you like? Subtly communicates, you are the prize. I'm trying to qualify. That is not a connection, it is negotiation. And once she senses that you are seeking her approval, something shifts. Even if she smiles, a layer of respect dissolves. Centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. In dating, feared doesn't mean intimidating, it means respected. It means you don't rely on validation to feel solid. When a woman meets a man who doesn't need her approval, she feels a subtle tension she can't quite name. He is not chasing. He is not predictable. He doesn't ask for validation, he commands it. Too many questions often signal uncertainty. They show you care deeply about how you're being perceived. But when you speak in grounded statements, observations, and measured silence, the dynamic reverses. Instead of you seeking her approval, she begins seeking yours. Power doesn't announce itself when it moves. It shifts quietly, almost unnoticed. It isn't gained through excessive niceness or manipulative games, but through deliberate mystery, what even Niccolò Machiavelli, author of The Prince, might describe as the politics of desire. In this video, you will learn how to speak to women through 6 strategic principles inspired by Machiavellian thinking, approaches that completely reverse the usual dynamic. By the end, you will understand how restraint, calm confidence, and presence can make a woman attracted to your mystery, not just your words. Stay with me until the final principle, because it is a lesson most men never understand in their entire lives. 1. The power of silence. Silence owns the frame. Silence is among the strongest tools a man possesses, and also one of the least used. Why? Because silence creates discomfort. And when people feel uncomfortable, they begin to expose who they really are. But silence does not kill attraction, it creates it. When you remain calm and composed, allowing space to exist without scrambling to fill it, you shift the frame. You're no longer seeking to impress. You're observing. Listening. Letting her reveal herself. Think about it, the loudest man in the room is rarely the most secure. Noise often masks insecurity. The man who can sit quietly, hold eye contact, and remain centered carries a different energy. His presence speaks for him. Instead of firing off predictable questions, make grounded observations. Instead of chasing answers, allow moments to breathe. Pause after she speaks. Hold strong eye contact. Smile slightly. Say nothing for a few seconds. In that calmness, something happens. Her mind engages. She starts wondering what you are thinking. And when someone wonders, they invest. The moment you stop trying to win understanding and begin operating from certainty, you develop gravity. People lean toward what feels solid. Silence isn't emptiness. It's controlled strength. 2. Never explain yourself. One of the quickest ways to lose attraction, or respect, is constant justification. When a man repeatedly clarifies, defends, or softens his stance, he sends a hidden message: I need approval. Machiavelli understood that power depends on perceived stability. If your confidence shifts whenever you are challenged, others learn they can shake you. On a date, a woman might test your certainty. Why would you say that, or, do you really think that? Many men panic. They backtrack. They dilute their opinion. They apologize for having won. They believe they are being agreeable. In reality, they are showing they can be moved. Confidence doesn't always shout. Often, it is quiet resolve. It is standing by your words without defensiveness. It is answering calmly, or sometimes not explaining at all. This doesn't mean being arrogant or dismissive. It means being internally anchored. If you believe something, own it. If you made a decision, stand by it. Over-explaining erodes presence. Mystery creates attraction. The most attractive individuals rarely justify themselves excessively. Their composure is their argument. Their steadiness is their persuasion. Psychologically, too much explanation can signal insecurity. What feels like transparency to you may read as instability to someone else. So next time you feel the urge to over-clarify, pause. Breathe. Let your words stand. A man desperate to be understood becomes easy to control. A man comfortable with being misunderstood cannot be manipulated so easily. Machiavelli compared the ideal leader to both a fox and a lion, clever enough to recognize traps, strong enough to command respect. The lesson applies here: stay aware, stay grounded, and don't bend simply to be liked. Attraction doesn't come from proving yourself. It comes from embodying certainty. And certainty is silent. 3. Control her emotions, not just her attention. Many men chase attention like it is spare change, eager, needy, and thankful for scraps. But attention alone means nothing if you can't shape how someone feels. If Machiavelli taught anything in The Prince, it was that power comes from strategy, not charm. Texting and influence aren't about who notices you, they are about what they feel when they do. This is where many men lose. They think attraction grows from non-stop validation, compliments, humor, constant texting, and endless availability. In doing so, they turn themselves into performers instead of grounded leaders. And the moment a woman feels she has you completely figured out, the intrigue that first drew her in begins to fade. What modern dating often ignores is that people are drawn to emotional tension, not drama, but that subtle balance between comfort and unpredictability. It's that slight uncertainty that keeps someone thinking about you. She's rarely captivated by the man who is always predictable, she is captivated by the one whose presence carries enigma and surprise. The key isn't managing her time, it's managing your emotional steadiness. If she tests you, don't become defensive. If she is emotional, don't rush to fix everything. Stay composed. Reflect calm. A woman doesn't necessarily need you to solve her feelings, she wants to sense that your emotional strength can hold space for hers. That grounded stability is powerful. The one who sets the emotional tone of the interaction keeps control of the dynamic. The one who constantly reacts surrenders it. Picture this: she says you seem distant. An insecure man scrambles to justify himself. A composed man might smile lightly and respond with playful confidence, then shift the conversation. He stays centered, she feels the shift. That calm confidence creates intrigue without hostility. That's not manipulation, it is emotional intelligence. Attraction is not about putting on a show. You gain influence not by being endlessly agreeable, but by being self-contained and slightly unpredictable in a healthy way. Machiavelli once said that people are driven by love or fear. In modern relationships, fascination fuels love. And fascination often begins with emotional control. So instead of trying to out-talk her, deepen your emotional intelligence. Don't obsess over holding her attention. Focus on shaping the emotional rhythm of your presence. When your calm energy alone can stir curiosity, everything else becomes secondary. True attraction lives in what she feels, even in your silence. 4. Don't reveal everything at once. Machiavelli advised leaders to understand when not to be entirely transparent, not to become cruel, but to be strategic. In relationships, this idea translates into pacing your openness wisely. If you reveal every thought, every plan, and every emotion immediately, you remove all mystery. It's not that honesty lacks value, it's that predictability often weakens desire. Human psychology is drawn to a bit of uncertainty. It's the unknown that sparks curiosity. When someone knows exactly how you feel, exactly what you'll do next, and exactly where you stand from the very beginning, there's little left to discover. And discovery is part of attraction. Machiavelli encouraged appearing open while thinking carefully beneath the surface. That isn't about deception, it's about discipline. It's about choosing timing over impulsive confession. Calm on the surface, depth underneath. Many men overshare too quickly under the banner of just being honest, when in truth they're seeking reassurance. They explain their intentions before the connection has had time to grow naturally. In doing so, they give away their emotional leverage. Power, in politics or relationships, often lies in timing. You share truth when it strengthens the connection, not simply when emotion pushes you to unload everything at once. In practice, this means emotional patience. You don't need to announce every feeling. Let your actions speak gradually. Let her discover layers of you over time. Don't map out your next moves, allow them to unfold. There's wisdom in restraint. When you speak less but with intention, your words carry weight. When you over-explain, they lose impact. This principle applies beyond romance, to friendship, business, and leadership. Reveal too much too soon, and people stop wondering. Reveal with care, and they stay engaged. Mystery sustains interest. When someone can't fully predict you, they pay closer attention. And that attention, grounded in curiosity, deepens connection. Not every emotion needs to be displayed immediately, and not every truth must be delivered at once. Stay composed. Share thoughtfully. Let your presence speak as loudly as your words. Because sometimes, the strongest influence comes not from what you reveal but from what you choose to hold with quiet confidence. 5. Let her seek emotional certainty. Every strong man understands a subtle truth: attraction grows when there's a touch of mystery, uncertainty that intrigues, not instability that harms. There's a clear line between being confusing and being compelling. One pushes people away, the other pulls them closer. Even Niccolò Machiavelli, writing about power and leadership rather than romance, grasped something fundamental about human nature. He noted that people are often motivated by love or fear. In attraction, those emotions can sit surprisingly close together. When a woman can't quite figure you out, when there's depth she can't fully read, she becomes curious. She wonders what you think, how you feel, and what your silence means. Instead of you chasing reassurance, she begins seeking clarity from you. But many men misunderstand this principle. They create disorder instead of intrigue. They play games instead of embodying quiet confidence. Mystery isn't manipulation. It's restraint. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, valued balance and self-command. True composure doesn't make someone insecure, it sparks curiosity. A grounded man doesn't scramble for attention. He holds himself steady. He speaks thoughtfully. His silence carries intention, not emptiness. While others rush to explain every misunderstanding, overtext, or seek constant validation, a centered man remains composed. The more someone feels they must decode you, the more value your presence holds. When you're unshaken by emotional turbulence, that steadiness stands out. Machiavelli suggested that power is maintained by appearing indispensable. In relationships, that translates to becoming emotionally grounded, not through control, but through consistency. Confidence often shows in what you don't say as much as in what you do. Here's the paradox: when you stop trying so hard to be understood, the other person invests energy trying to understand you. She notices your tone, your pauses, and your expressions. Curiosity deepens attraction. Desire grows in uncertainty, but respect grows in self-control. When a man balances both, he doesn't pursue relentlessly, he naturally draws people in. 6. The strength of emotional discipline. Machiavelli advised leaders to understand human nature deeply, not to be cruel, but to avoid being controlled by emotion. In relationships, the same principle applies: whoever lacks emotional control is easily influenced by someone who has it. Respect fades when reactions become predictable, when a man argues impulsively, begs from panic, or pleads out of chaos. It's not emotion itself that weakens attraction, it's the loss of composure. Machiavelli believed a wise leader appears compassionate yet acts with deliberation. In modern terms, that's emotional intelligence, feeling deeply but deciding rationally. A man who masters himself doesn't escalate every disagreement. He doesn't chase when ignored. He doesn't apologize out of fear. He listens, observes, and responds with intention. His calm becomes stabilizing, not cold, but controlled. The Stoics, like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that self-mastery is the highest form of strength. As Seneca wrote, conquering yourself is the greatest victory. That's the core of this idea: before influencing others, you must command your own mind. Emotional discipline doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means governing them. Like a ruler over a kingdom, you decide when to act and when restraint carries more power. Constant reaction diminishes presence. Composure builds it. A person cannot deeply respect someone they can easily provoke. But they're drawn to someone who remains steady under pressure, the one who listens calmly, doesn't flinch at tests, and keeps perspective when others lose control. Machiavelli might call this managing perception. The Stoics would call it mastering the mind. Ultimately, both point to the same truth. Power begins where reactivity ends. The difference between a powerful man and a desperate one isn't wealth or appearance. It's his ability to stay centered when challenged, unmoved by chaos, anchored in himself, and impossible to unsettle.